E3 is just around the corner. It's always an exciting time of the year for us gamers. I myself always look forward to watching Ubisoft make complete arses out of themselves.
Is it Ubisoft or is it Ubisoft? Not sure. I think it's whatever you want it to be.
But for the better part of a year, rumours and speculation about Bloodborne 2 being showcased and revealed at this year's E3 have started to pop up every now and again, and people mainly dismiss it as a little hoax. But I kind of want to look further into it, try and pull the facts out as best I can. So first things first, we have all seen this image, right? This cropped up on a NeoGAF thread a while back. Firstly, it's a nice design, it looks totally credible. Secondly, regarding the photo of this design on the computer monitor, that's not entirely hard, is it? Look, I'll do it now. But what's interesting about this picture is this little text at the bottom. It's kind of hard to read due to the fact it's so small, but it reads, Bloodborne 2 is a trademark of Sony Computer Entertainment America, LLC. But it's not. So I'll give you a little rundown of how this works, but obviously this is not my field of speciality, so I might be wrong here. But let's say From Software filed for the trademark for Dark Souls. That would look like this, with the little trademark symbol up there. Next we have Dark Souls 2, the trademark symbol is after the Dark Souls and not the 2, and the same thing with Dark Souls 3. The only registered trademark that I can find online is Dark Souls, not Dark Souls 2 or Dark Souls 3, because they didn't need to because they already have the Dark Souls name, which no one else can use. That's a very stupid and simplistic way of putting it, but there you go. The reason I bring this up is on this supposed leak the trademark symbol isn't there, yet the pieces of text state it is a registered trademark. I mean, yes, Bloodborne is a registered trademark, but if this supposed leak was correct, it'd look like this, with the text below reading, Bloodborne, trademark symbol, 2 is a trademark of Sony Computer Entertainment, LLC. That right there kind of discredited this image, but I'll give you points for the effort. Like I said, at face value, it does look very good, but again, I could be wrong. If there's anyone out there who has knowledge of trademark law, feel free to explain it down below. I did a bunch of looking around, but the only registered trademark I could find is Bloodborne, Bloodborne the Old Hunters, and Dark Souls, no Dark Souls 2 or 3. But sticking to the NeoGAF thread for just a moment, a user called Thomas Mailer said, I'm 99% certain we'll see it, when referring to Bloodborne 2 being at E3. Now Thomas Mailer does work in the industry, he worked on the stunning game Ori and the Blind Forest, but even with that said, just because he's worked in the industry, I don't see how he'd have insider information about a From Software game. Which leads me to my next point. In an interview with GameSpot, Miyazaki responded, I'm not thinking about making any sequels or spin-offs, that applies to Bloodborne as well, when asked if he had any plans for future Dark Souls or Bloodborne titles. That coupled with an interview he did with Famitsu during the Ringed City release, he stated, as I've said from the beginning, there are no further developments planned at the moment, at least. Kind of sounds like he's getting sick of being asked the question. And finally we have this, which is the main point which we've brought up in the past. In an interview with Glitzel, they were discussing HD remakes of the Souls games and Miyazaki stated, as for the question of having an external team create a remaster or remake, I'm not opposed to this idea by any means. So this kind of got me thinking. We know From Software is working on 3 titles currently, one has been confirmed to be a new Armored Core game, one will comply with expectations from the fans, so that's basically another Souls-like, one that's again rumoured to be available on all platforms, so that could mean FromSoft and Bandai Namco have renewed their contract, but that's just guesstimating at this point, and one that's weird, rumoured to be a VR game. So whilst they're working on that, I got thinking, with the monetary success that Bloodborne garnered Sony, what is to stop them from making Bloodborne 2 in-house? I mean, they own the trademark after all, it's perfectly within their legal right to do so, and it's something I could see Sony doing. It would feel extremely strange though, and I don't doubt the majority of fans would be very concerned with Bloodborne 2 if it didn't have From Software at the helm. Next, I want to briefly go over the supposed game list leak. That's just a Microsoft Excel spreadsheet of games that are going to appear at E3. Now in terms of leaks, this I feel is the most lazy and easiest to replicate. I mean anyone, and I mean anyone could do this. I'll set one up right now. If you can take that and stick it on NeoGAF or Reddit or, well, anywhere, some people would have a field day with that, so I'm not even going to bother talking about these. But an important note about this one in particular, this isn't even a leak. This is just some list someone on NeoGAF created as some sort of prediction for E3, which got taken way out of context, and the image was used by various media outlets and people on Twitter to generate traffic to whatever handle they were on. Another small tidbit of information is another NeoGAF post stating From Software will be on the E3 stage in some capacity. Again, not sure how credible this source is, but NeoGAF tend to have insider information, but again, you should always be skeptical. But even if that's the case, in some capacity makes me feel like they're not going to have a strong presence there, and if From Software were going to reveal their new IP or something like Bloodborne 2, you'd think the buzz would have a little more weight than some capacity, but that's just my 2 cents. So again, the likelihood of Bloodborne 2 being at E3 I feel is low, but I don't want to rule it out completely. If it is there, I really don't think it will be created by From Software, and all the Bloodborne 2 leaks, not one has been credible yet unfortunately, but I'll throw this over to you guys. Do you think Bloodborne 2 is going to be at E3, and if not, what are you looking forward to? Honestly, I just want to kind of stop all this and find out what's next for From Software, so I really do hope they're there this year. I've been Paragon, take care everyone.